Everyone. So in this video I'm going to show you how to connect HAL to your Telegram bot. HAL is a tool that allows you to connect Ethereum to your applications. You can think of it as a bit of a if this and that, but on the blockchain. So every time you want an action to be executed off-chain based on some conditions on-chain, you can do so easily using HAL. In today's example, I'm going to show you how to use HAL to send a text every time the exchange rate on Kyber goes beyond a certain threshold. So let's see how to do this. Before we begin, just a word on Kyber. Kyber is an on-chain liquidity protocol that is used to exchange tokens mostly. And specifically, okay, I'll show you the function we're going to track. But first, if we go to Etherscan, this is the Kyber contract, as you can see here. The function that we want to track is this getExpectedRate function here. So it takes three things as inputs and has two return values. The first input is the source address of the token, of the first token, destination address of the second token, and the quantity. And it gives us back the expected rate and the slippage rate. So let's see how this works. We want to put in the first value, the source address, we want to put the KNC token address, which is this one. And then as destination, I put DAI. Right, so what I'm trying to track is the exchange rate between KNC and DAI. And specifically, I want to use 1, which is expressed in way, as my quantity. So when you hit query, what you get back is the expected rate, which is this value here, and the slippage rate, which is this one here. We only care about the expected rate for now. So what we want to build is a trigger on HAL that sends us a text on Telegram every time the expected rate grows beyond this value here. Let's do it. So we head over to hal.xyz and we create our trigger, which is going to be a watch a contract trigger. You can build like different triggers depending on what you're trying to track. You can track a transaction, an event. In this case, we want to track a contract. So the first piece of information we need to provide is the address of the contract that we want to track, which in this case is the Kyber contract. And then HAL will fetch for us all we need to work with it. So we said that the function we care about is getExpectedRate. And here, as you can see, is pretty much like Etherscan, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move over all the values from Etherscan to HAL. So again, this is a KNC token address. This is a DAI token address. We put 1. So this stuff here basically means that 1 KNC at this moment in time is equal to 0.611 DAI. So in our trigger, we want the trigger to fire whenever the exchange rate grows beyond a certain value. So let's use this value of right now. And let's say that we want the expected rate to be bigger than this. And I'm saying this just because I know that it's most likely going to be bigger than this in 3 seconds when I create the trigger, so we can see it live, hopefully. The second return is, of course, the slippage rate, but we don't care about that. And that's all you need to do when it comes to creating your trigger. At least the conditions of your trigger. Then, moving on to the fun bit, you can connect an action to this trigger. right? So you can send an email, you can post to Twitter, post to Slack. In this case, we got a webhook down here. In this case, we want to send a Telegram text, so we tick the Telegram box. And right, I should mention at this point that you're gonna need to have your own Telegram bot to do this, which by the way is super simple. You can check out the documentation on telegram.org. It really takes 2 seconds if you haven't created a bot before with Telegram, so go ahead and get yourself one. Once you've done so, you're gonna have the token for the bot you created, which you're going to put here, and the chat ID, which is, well, the ID of the chat you want your bot to send the messages to. So in this case is a private chat that I created on purpose, and this is a chat ID. And last but not least, we have a nice message here that we can create. So in this case we want to say, hello there, I'm on Telegram. And then you can use a number of placeholders to make your message look pretty, like a block number, and this is a placeholder for block number, the expected rate was, and this is a little tricky, but basically the expected rate, as we've seen here, is the first of the 2 return values. So you're going to access this using this slightly awkward syntax. Maybe we'll come up with something nicer in the future. But this is what it is now. So a block number, the expected rate was, and then return value 0, which is the first of the 2 return values. The second one being 1, of course. So this stuff, we don't need it anymore. And that's what our message is going to look like. So all we have to do now is to give this nice trigger a name. So Kyber expected rate really good, right? And we create the trigger, and here you go. Wow, almost immediately. I got lucky. It means like a new block came out immediately. And as you can see here, our bot sent us this nice text, which is exactly what we were expecting. So a block number and this block number, the expected rate was whatever that was. And that's it, folks. So that's how you integrate HAL with your Telegram bot. If you want like a recap, a write-up for everything I've said, you can find it on Medium. I've published an article that goes through roughly the same thing I've shown you here on the video. And that's all for now.